Hello, my name is Ebony.
I'm Crystal.
I'm Destiny.
And I'm Brianna, and together we are
E.C.D.B. Every child deserves better.
And today we're going to let you guys know about an organization we study this semester by the name of Osceola Children's Cabinet. Essentially, they are an organization that's come together to address childhood issues and youth issues.
So for our name, E.C.D.B., we decided to make it an acronym. So Ebony, Crystal, Destiny, Brianna, every child deserves better. We decided to incorporate children since that's Osceola Children's Cabinet's goal.
And we are 4 females here at UCF. We are each seniors, and this semester we learned about the Osceola Children's Cabinet as well as ourselves.
And our motto is Charging Forward for Children, as we are UCF Knights, and also we want to incorporate children again.
So throughout the semester, we wanted to be able to work cohesively together, so we came up with something called the full value contract. Some of the rules that each group member was expected to do was complete all assigned tasks in a timely manner. We were also supposed to pull our own weight, respect all opinions that are set out for discussion, attend class, bring your great attitude and A game every day, participate in group discussions, and always update group members in the case of extenuating circumstances. So now you'll hear from Ebony, who's going to discuss the history, background, and location of the Osceola Children's Cabinet.
Thanks, guys. As Crystal stated, I had the pleasure of doing the portion of history for the Osceola Children's Cabinet. As Crystal noted, I had the pleasure of doing the history of the Osceola Children's Cabinet. But what you guys should know is they didn't actually start off with the name of the Osceola Children's Cabinet. They actually started as 2 separate organizations, one being the Youth Coordinating Committee, and the second one is the Youth Development Task, which they later became the Osceola Youth Action Committee, and really it wasn't until 2008 that they coined themselves the Osceola Children's Cabinet. And what the Osceola Children's Cabinet is a group of several organizations that have come together to impact the lives of at-risk children in the county of Osceola. As we know, Osceola suffers from a lot of children who are homeless. Some of them are obese. Others don't start school on time for whatever reason that is. But whatever the issue is, the Osceola Children's Cabinet has really just said, we are going to create an organization that deals with each issue. I also have the pleasure of talking to the chairperson, Victor Salgado, and at that time, he actually explained to me some of his motivations for actually becoming a part of an organization like this. And it was simply because he actually saw what an impact had on a child that he encountered. Simply from being an example and just being a positive influence in this child's life, he saw after, when the child came back and let him know how impactful he was, and he told me it spoke volumes to him. So, and this was a recurring theme that I saw throughout the members of this cabinet. They're each essentially the cheerleaders for each of their organizations, and they generally have a heart for this kind of cause. And Victor, something else that he told me in my time speaking with him is that Osceola has an issue with funding. And unlike Orange County, they're unable to get funding from large companies like Disney and Darden and things like that. And what he wants large organizations to do is join the cabinet so that way they can actually know about the need that's there in Osceola. And next, you guys will hear from Destiny.
Hello, I'm going to talk about the interaction system, their task interaction, as well as their relationship interaction. So basically our first impression, we walked into the building and there was a large hallway. There were separate hallways that you could go off into. And there was a sign where it said Osceola Children's Cabinet. So we went down the hallway, we were immediately greeted by a friendly face telling us about the Osceola Children's Cabinet. They were glad to see us. We had a sign-in sheet and it had where you could sign in and tell where you came from, what you're there for, what you hope to gain from the organization as well, and programs and events that could be going on that may benefit members as well as their children. So there was a large square table that was formed, And Victor Salgado sat at this end, and we all sat around. He sat with other people that have positions in the group as well. And we all did a 20 or 30-second introduction, basically telling who we are, where we're from, what we hope to gain from the group. Then Victor did a recap of the last group and what happened, what he hoped to discuss in this group, how far he hoped to get this month. And we also discussed new members and how they thought they should be in the group, and how they would be able to impact and influence children in Osceola County. So they would say what they could bring to the table, their resources, how many meetings they had been to, why they were interested, and basically they would vote on it and say whether it was approved or not. We noticed that people tended to raise their hands, so it was very polite, very cordial. Everyone was attentive while other people were talking, so there was no ruckus going on or rustling of papers. Everyone was very in tune with each other and very considerate. A member is always given an opportunity to present each month. So this time there was a woman that did a presentation on her own cause. Some people were writing things down and some people were just listening attentively. But at other times you saw where people would walk up and give her resources or information about how they could help. When she sat down, they also gave suggestions on things that they may be able to think of and whatnot, and that may be able to help her situation in helping the organization. After they exchanged information, we took some notes on how the members interacted with each other. We noticed that once the meeting was over, that people tend to just interact and be very friendly. Some people did walk out immediately. Sometimes you could tell that people had somewhere to go, but other times it seemed like people really wanted to help, so we were very impressed that all members got a fair chance to speak, that there was nobody that seemed like they didn't get a chance to talk about their own organization. Overall, our experience was very enlightening because the other group members and I didn't know that such an organization existed, like the Osceola Children's Cabinet, where people cared and wanted to reach out to children and troubled youth without expecting anything in return. And now I'm going to go to Brianna with structure and goals.
Thank you, Destiny. Okay, I'll be talking about the structure and goals of the Osceola Children's Cabinet. Osceola is a county located in Central Florida, and many people are unfamiliar and unaware of its environment, atmosphere, and surrounding area, which is in a serious deteriorating state. Osceola County has a website, which is osceola.org, that provides general information about the county of Osceola. They post news, announcements, upcoming events, press releases, and they also have Osceola TV. You can visit this website to get a broad understanding and highlights of the community. By exploring this webpage, you can get a glimpse of what it is like to live and be involved in this part of Florida. Get a first-hand experience by engaging yourself in the Osceola County Children's Cabinet. The Osceola Children's Cabinet promotes themselves through their own Facebook page. This social forum provides connectivity throughout the community and the public. The page gives information on the Osceola Children's Cabinet. They post about current events and keep you up to date on what's happening. I found an article in the Orlando Sentinel that completely shocked me. It discussed how Osceola County is the shadow of Walt Disney World and how they have one of the highest rates of homelessness in the nation. There was a conference that was hosted by the Central Florida Commission on Homelessness. It is a huge problem and it is continuing to grow. The rate is climbing and the children and families of Osceola need help. The theme park giant has said that they will try to help and find solutions to this ongoing problem. The Osceola Children's Cabinet is structured through different goals, norms, and roles. The main goal of a cabinet is to provide children with a healthy and safe environment. They want to make sure that each child is provided with the same opportunities. They also strive to ensure that they can eat healthy, be in a safe place, and receive education to make them a productive member of society. The cabinet has a president, vice president, and secretary. Their norms are to vote on issues such as new members, event dates, guest speakers, and so on. As long as nobody objects, the motion will go through. Each person, whether it's the president or a representative from an organization, plays a significant role and brings something different to the table. There are many different organizations involved, and they all play a key part in making the Osceola Children's Cabinet function. And last but not least, we will hear from Crystal.
Thank you, Brianna. As she mentioned, I'll be talking to you about the decision-making process, specifically leadership and followership amongst the members of the Osceola Children's Cabinet. In an article titled "The Children's Movement of Florida," the author describes speaking to about 50 members of the Osceola Children's Cabinet. She describes them as a great group of people who are passionate and dedicated to serving the needs of the children of their communities. The blog also mentions many other counties who are all working together with the same mission in mind to best address what it takes to meet the children's needs. Because there are so many counties and communities working towards the same mission, sometimes they don't always receive the recognition they deserve. For instance, Brianna mentioned how Osceola is sometimes considered in the shadows of Walt Disney World, and they don't always get the attention or the funding that they need or deserve compared to children's cabinets such as here in Orlando. But all of these major organizations work cohesively to improve the services families can receive. If you visit the website, theosceolachildrenscabinet.org, you'll see that they have many links and organizations you can go to not only help children, but help parents and families in need. Children should be safe, healthy, educated, and employable, and these are one of the other main missions Cabinet has. Due to many organizations being involved with the Osceola Children's Cabinet, there is a precise decision-making process. But no matter how they decide on an outcome of a plan, they always keep the main goal and mission in mind, which is what is best for the community and the children in the community. There are representatives from each of the supporting cabinets who attend the meetings. They do use a chain of command with positions and official titles. For example, as Ebony mentioned earlier, Mr. Salgado, who is the chairperson for the cabinet, also conducts the meetings. In order for there to be order, there needs to be leadership and followership amongst the cabinet. And in order for there to be leadership, there must also be followership, which exists in all levels of the organization. In order to work as a well-oiled machine, all of the moving parts must work together, cohesiveness. And the way this works is during a meeting, Mr. Salgado will direct his attention across the room. And the members of the organizations who are there as the speakers or the representatives will then raise their hand or speak out in order to voice their opinions, their plans, their ideas. And they use a process called the Rules of Order. As you can see, today we've talked to you about the Osceola Children's Cabinet, their interaction system, structure and goals, and the decision-making process. Now we'd like to talk to you as a group about how we research and study this group. For my example, I'd say we'd like to do a case study. A case study would be to attend a meeting and watch them in action and collect the data on how they perform and interact.
I also thought that we could possibly go to a meeting or even go to each individual organization and basically find out what's working for them and if there needs to be anything that needs to be changed, essentially what their success rate is.
I thought that an interview process might go well. So Victor Salgado said that we could reach out to him if we needed any help with any questions, resources, or wanted to volunteer for the organization. So I thought that would be a good resource to utilize.
And I thought we could go to each organization or company and spend a day with them and actually get a first-hand experience on what they do.
Also, if you want to join the Osceola Children's Cabinet, just visit their website, osceolachildrenscabinet.org. And also, they meet every third Wednesday at 9 a.m. at 1921 Kissimmee Lane in Kissimmee, Florida.
Thank you for your time and patience in viewing our presentation.
We are Every Child Deserves Better.
E.C.D.B.